Welcome to another episode of In Conversation by Advisorkhoj. Today in conversation, our guest is Mr. Mohit Bhatia, Chief Executive Officer of Bank of India Mutual Fund. Mohit has over 26 years of experience in mutual funds and financial services industry. Welcome Mohit to In Conversation by Advisorkhoj.
Thank you, Suren. Thanks for having me here on in this talk with Advisorkhoj and with yourself. Thank you very
Our
much.
pleasure. Thank you so much for joining in today. So Mohit, you have spent over a year with Bank of India Mutual Fund as a CEO. So how has been your journey and how has been experience so far?
So absolutely thrilling, I would say. And of course, it has been helped by the market and the business environment.
Yes.
We've seen the mutual fund industry, grow across a big milestone of 50 lakh crores. And, Bank of India Mutual Fund has been I would say, a good participant there in terms of seeing our market share grow and also our AUMs grow. And I would say that this whole 1.5 year that I've spent here has been a very exciting journey for me. I joined, in October 2022, and I had, been exposed to sales and marketing prior to this role. And of course, in my last stints in various AMCs, I was, of course, involved in a lot of business planning, sales and marketing initiatives, understanding the financials. But I think this is a very different and beneficial exposure in terms of learning and taking responsibility for the whole company. And also being able to join it at a time where the industry has been in a very interesting phase. And we've seen growth all around, and very happy to have, having been given this responsibility of leading such a nice team of colleagues, very, very keen to build up the business. And I would say a lot of support from our stakeholders, the Bank of India, who is a 100% subsidiary. So all in all, I would say we've seen great numbers come in, but more importantly, a very enthusiastic set of people, my colleagues and my stakeholders, board members who've all been very, very supportive. So all in all, fantastic experience for me the last 1.5 years at Bank of India Mutual Fund.
Wonderful. Our very best wishes for this new responsibility to you, Mohit.
Yeah, thank you.
So, could you also tell us about something about Bank of India distribution channel? How do you plan to leverage it? Any digital initiative that you've already taken or you plan to take?
Yeah, so, as you're aware, Bank of India is also the 100% shareholder after AXA exited the business in December 2021. And, it's got one of the big advantages that comes with such a large entity. Bank of India is the 9th largest banking entity in the country, comes with a vast distribution network and a great brand, that is well established in the minds of, Indian investors, savers, consumers. So, and talking about the distribution side, we have the bank having over 5,100 branches, 14 crore, customers, and, almost 60,000 employees. So, that's a big strength and advantage of having such a large network of colleagues, infrastructure. And while they, also look at other mutual funds, I would say that, having known Bank of India Mutual Fund for a long while, having a set of products which are, well performing, and also a brand that is quite well recognized, I think the distribution network and infrastructure that is available with our, shareholder in terms of its distribution arm has been fantastic. Importantly, like I said, the top management at the bank is extremely supportive of building up the mutual fund business. And, we see all initiatives that are taken by the bank in terms of, building up trainings for NISM certifications, product awareness, and building up fee income through third-party products where mutual funds is a big beneficiary. So I think it's a great support to have, a large distribution network partner like Bank of India.
Most certainly, with the network of branches, like you mentioned, it's certainly a giant complementing
Yeah.
and supporting the Bank of India Mutual Fund. Absolutely. So, what are some of the changes which you've already executed or you plan to execute, and your plans ahead for Bank of India Mutual Fund?
Yeah, so Suren, I would say that, like I said in the first part of this interaction, that I've been lucky to inherit a great team,
Mhm.
a great set of board members, both on the AMC side, the trustee side, and a very, very supportive management from our shareholders. So I think continuity has been something that I thought would be the best way to describe
Mhm.
the last 1.5 years for me, and maintaining that continuity, and of course trying to first understand how the business has been running, and supporting all my colleagues and various partners in terms of taking the business forward. Like I said, was very good to inherit a set of products which had created a great long-term track record.
Mhm.
And of course, you may see performances vary from time to time,
Of course.
but I thought great processes, have been built up over the years. The AMC is over 15 years old, and you know, so we've seen a good set of people, good set of processes that I have inherited, and maintaining continuity there was extremely important. So I try to do that. Besides that, I would say, trying to align ourselves more closely to the new risk management framework, which came as part of the SEBI regulations, was an important, agenda which we've got completed. So, this was something that was in the process, and, while I joined, and I'm very happy to share that we've been able to complete it successfully. Have an external audit done for that, and, that's come out great. So, that was one part. So while you would have noticed that the performances have been great for the AMC across majority of the products, good track record has been created. I think in an increasing environment where volatility is going to be prevalent in the markets,
Mhm.
and protecting drawdowns is going to be extremely important from the perspective of generating long-term returns. I think a
Absolutely.
lot of work has also gone in ensuring that we are, well equipped in terms of handling the liquidity risk and the concentration risk. So, on one side, our investment team is creating great alpha,
Mhm.
through their allocation and selection process. On the other side, the legal, the compliance, the risk management team, along with the other departments, is trying to ensure that we are managing risks well, so that we avoid any kind of deep drawdown. So I think ensuring a holistic approach to the business, ensuring so that's been in terms of what we've been doing internally. Externally, of course, ensuring that we are reaching out to more partners.
Mhm.
And I will say that if I look at our, number of activations, whether it's across the Bank of India branches, or it is across our, mutual fund distribution partners, that has been increasing in a fantastic way. And it's also reflected in the results. So we've grown by almost 85% in the last 1 year, compared to the industry growth of about, I think 35%.
That's
And
right.
while it's on a small base, but all retail parameters look good. So on an average, we've been adding about say 9 to 10,000 new folios every month. So and our open-ended equity products and hybrid products have been seeing great inflows. A number of investors. We've done 2 successful NFOs in the last 1.5 year. Um, so, when I look at all retail statistics along with the growth in AUM, I think we've done, great. And I would say those are few, I wouldn't say changes, continuity plus, I would say, trying to align ourselves more closely to the regulatory environment, to ensure that we are protecting, drawdown risk. I think that has been something that we've been working on, and reaching out to our partners in terms of more engagement activities. So that's been something that we've been doing. We've also been doing a lot of trainings at Bank of India, ensuring that more number of people are taking the NISM certification. And like I said earlier, there's been a great support from the bank in terms of ensuring that all these processes are in place to build up, for a much larger sales traction in the years ahead.
Sure. Well, that's great because it's about fixing the right things for the growth momentum being planned ahead.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So, of course, you have the Bank of India distribution channel, which is on the other side, supporting Bank of India Mutual Fund. But how do you plan to strengthen the third-party distribution, particularly, and any sort of initiatives which you have taken for the third-party distribution digitally as well as for the investors, so that they could kind of start operating and working more with Bank of India Mutual Fund? If you could just highlight some of them, please.
Yeah, so of course, the third-party distribution still, continues to be the larger or majority part of our AUM.
Sure.
So that's the bigger contribution. And I must thank all our independent mutual fund distribution partners, who've been so very supportive through the thick and thin, I would say, over the last several years. And that's one very strong pillar of support. So, while a lot of the national distributors are currently may not be selling us, but we are reaching there. I mean, they have their own criteria of looking at minimum AUM size, minimum scheme size, and probably have other filters through which they look at a long-term relationship being built. But I would think that from a distribution perspective, from the independent MFD perspective, we've been expanding that, getting great support from the various MFD groups across the country, and also from the Bank of India channel. So, talking about the third-party distribution, like I said, it's a very, very important part. And even from a shareholder perspective, the mandate is to ensure that distribution is well diversified.
Yeah.
So we are working towards expanding this. We want to expand our physical reach. For example, currently we are present only 14 in the form of 14 branches.
Right.
We will look at expanding to about 35, 40 branches over the next couple of years. And also supported with a state-of-the-art digital ecosystem, which looks at ensuring seamless transaction capability, information exchange, as well as feedback loops for our distributors and clients. So that work is what we intend to do over the next year, and strengthen that. But we are at present available in the form of a distributor initiated transaction DIT portal that we have for our distributors. We also have our own web portal for our investors. But importantly, I am a very strong believer that India will continue to be a distribution-driven market for a long, long time to come, because as market cycles become more volatile, shorter, newer products emerge. There will be requirement for advice, and more importantly, about information and drivers of performance across various products. So therein the need for good distributors and advisors, and we are all out to ensure that we do that. So like I said earlier, that we have been engaging with more distributors. So we are working on ensuring that the quality of engagement, the service feedback loop is kind of brought into focus. We are intending to do road shows, as a regular schedule. So some of these activities are very routine activities, but I think given the strong history of performance and process that the company has had, it is important to take this message across the important centers. So we will be stepping that up, both in the form of physical, meeting kind of interaction, along with digital interactions, which has also become extremely important.
Sure.
So stepping up the digital ecosystem, ensuring that we have seamless, uh, you know, I would say transaction portal, information exchange portal for our distribution partners is going to be very, very important. Something that we are working on in this year, and also building up on marketing communication, because
Mhm.
what we've seen is that a lot of, and that's a feedback that comes in from a lot of our distribution partners, that they would like us to be seen in terms of marketing, creative advertisements, both digitally and in terms of some of the business magazines and all, which investors also look at. So we are working on that, and you'll see a focused marketing campaign as well as a PR campaign in this year to at least ensure the visibility of the brand and some of the products and investment philosophy across these products that we want
Sure.
to
Sure.
uh, highlight to the audience.
No, wonderful. There are a lot of initiatives, of course, which you plan to take ahead for Bank of India Mutual Fund. Mohit, could you also highlight about your investment management team, the structure and number of people?
Yeah, so we have for a size of 7,000 crores overall AUM, I think we are reasonably well staffed in terms
Mhm.
of our investment team. We have the chief investment officer Alok, who's been there with the firm for over 11 years, and he's helped in his work by three equity fund managers, one fixed income fund manager, two members in the dealing team, and we have six analysts, including one credit analyst. And we plan to expand this team further in terms of, adding more analysts. What we are also been doing is trying to see most of, some of our fund managers have grown from the analyst role. So, one or two of the existing fund managers have been analysts in the past in the company and have grown into the role of a fund manager now, which is something that I think it's something very good, tells you about the longevity and the quality of the team. And like I said, this is a very, very important pillar
Mhm.
for any asset management company. And we, propose to strengthen this team through adding people as well as adding tools, in terms of assisting them, primarily towards ensuring that we have a wider investment universe that can be covered. And also we are always prepared for new, I would say, regulations that come up, and this being open-ended products, mutual funds. We think it's important to ensure that we are well equipped to handle any kind of volatility that may emerge in the market. So something that I said is to me become so market cycles
Mhm.
seem to have become shorter. Volatility is here to stay,
True.
and we think it's important to equip the team both with resources as well as more tools to ensure that we are able to navigate well.
Sure. Wonderful. When we look at Bank of India mutual fund, the mutual fund is reasonably product rich, right? So,
Yeah.
what are your plans ahead in terms of filling certain product gaps in the coming financial year?
Yes. So, Suren, we've discussed this earlier. We have 18 open-ended products now, and of these, I would say at least 11, 12 have created a fantastic, long-term track record. So, firstly, we want to focus on ensuring that the message goes across to our distribution partners, clients, about how these products have been managed, and the kind of value add they bring into the client portfolios. So that's going to be the primary focus. So if you look at the larger category of products which today form part of core allocations and portfolios, you'll see a great track record built across, say, the flexi cap, the multi cap, the ELSS, the hybrid funds, which I think we've been able to create a great track record across aggressive hybrid, the balance advantage fund. the conservative hybrid. Um, we are also we so if I see the gaps, we definitely need to step up in terms of launch of a few fixed income products.
Okay.
And while tax changes in the tax regulations have made it a little bit less attractive, I still think that people going in for open-ended funds, and taking it as part of their asset allocation can really
Sure.
benefit
Sure.
from well-managed open-ended debt funds. And two, like I said, hybrids is a great set of products which also help people to participate in the debt markets through a combination of equity and debt. So that said, I see, like I said, gaps, a few gaps on the fixed income side, which we want to kind of plug in. So, for example, we don't have a money market fund, we don't have a low duration fund, we don't have a PSU and banking fund. So, those are some of the products that complete the basket. We don't have a mid cap fund, for example, on the equity side, we want to fill up. Uh, then we also look at some of these slightly broader themes, which are, I would say, popular, as well as, see interest from distributors and clients. And these are like the business cycles fund or the focus fund. Focus fund is something which a lot of our distributors say we should come out with, because having built up a track record on equities, this is something that investors and clients expect us to do, and we would probably evaluate some of this.
Sure.
The other thing we want to do is, there is also no denying that passives will become popular
Yeah.
in the context of both institutional and individual investors, especially in the wider research baskets. When I say this, we are more keen to look at baskets like say a BSE 30, Nifty 50, or BSE 100.
Sure.
So those are broader baskets which are well researched, where if you see the difference between actively managed such baskets versus the passively managed such baskets would be lesser compared to the other indices, say for example the small cap indices and all. So I would think that's an area again that we will explore to launch index funds. A few of them which are well researched. So when I say that, so for example, when you look at a larger basket, which is say a small cap index, you would have certain blind spots,
Right.
or not. So I think that's an area where actively managed funds over the long term should be able to create better value wealth for the clients. And so we will focus on the actively managed funds in those segments, and some of these passive funds in the large cap segment, which we think we try and bring forth.
Sure.
Besides that, once those are priorities for the next 2 to 3 years, then maybe look at some other quant products like say smart beta, or some international themes at a later stage.
Sure. So if you were to funnel it down in the current financial year, what all products are you looking to launch, Mohit?
So we are evaluating, like I said, the index funds. We're also evaluating the business cycle, the focus fund, and some of the debt funds I mentioned, the PSU and banking and the money market fund. So few of those, there are thinking around those. We will evaluate internally once more, and I will say internally evaluate it, and based on consensus within our team, we'll see which ones we prioritize here.
Perfect. So reasonable amount of product lineup in this current financial year.
Yes.
You did mention about the number of branches at Bank of India Mutual Fund currently being 14, and you plan to take them in some time ahead to about 30 to 35 branches.
Yeah.
So could you also tell us about your sales team size, the structure, etc.?
So we are, like I said, 14 offices currently, but
Yeah.
we are present across 32 places in the form of our employees at the branches. So it's
Sure.
a team of about 60 members, including certain sales associates who look at, primarily building up awareness in the, Bank of India channel. So all in all, a 60-member team, which again, we plan to expand, especially in the larger centers. So, that's the plan in terms of expansion. And like I said, we are very, very keen to do a revamp of our digital ecosystem.
Sure.
More importantly, reach out to our distribution partners, because like I said, the brand Bank of India is extremely popular across within the top cities, as well as in the upcountry locations.
Absolutely.
So I think that's a great opportunity for the fund. And while it is very difficult for us to match the footprint of the bank uh, in terms of the distribution strength that the bank has, but at least making information and access to transaction capability available to our distribution partners and to the bank across the country is something that we think we can do through a combination of physical and digital, reach. So that is what we are going to, kind of focus on.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So, Mohit, today through this in conversation, what message would you like to give on behalf of Bank of India Mutual Fund to the advisors, to the mutual fund distributors,
Yeah.
as well as the investors?
Yeah. So, one, I think it's a great time to be in India, both as an investor and as a distributor, and
Mhm.
of course as a manufacturer, as an AMC, because we are seeing great business growth in relative terms compared to say some of the other countries around us, and clearly, one thing that looks uh, high in terms of probability, I would say, is that the returns for investors in market-linked products, especially equity-oriented products, will reflect the kind of nominal GDP growth that is going to be there. So I think that if you just look at the empirical data of the past, and again the disclaimer is that nothing is guaranteed and
Of course.
market risks can influence returns from time to time, but yet, if you see largely equities reflect the returns that will come, that reflect the returns from what the nominal GDP a country could be, right? So I think that picture is great in terms of the long term story for India. And then you come down to investors and advisors. I think everybody has their own risk profile, investment horizon, and needs tied down to specific timelines. So I think extremely important for distributors to guide their investors on asset allocation or the strategic asset allocation, which is going to be important irrespective of how the markets are headed. I think clearly this big mega trend of
Mhm.
financialization of savings, which is underway, is going to continue for many years in India.
Yes.
And it's going to be important to ensure that the strategic asset allocation is the primary tool that the investors and advisors use, because asset allocation decides 100% of the level of returns that you're going to generate.
Yes.
And that said, I would think it is also extremely important to focus on security selection. So, while there's so much research to look at, and this is, if you just look at some common data which is widely available, it is about the variance of returns between, two portfolios with similar asset allocation. So if you look at, say, large cap funds, if you look at small cap funds, or any category, you'll see wide variance. Now, so that's to me security selection. The first being asset allocation being the prime driver, but advisors and distributors would, it'd be great to focus also on security and scheme selection. And then there are other factors like timing and costs, which kind of build up the overall long-term return. So,
Absolutely.
uh, so then the finals, summarizing this, I would think out of these 4, 5 things, what is something that you can control or controlling the controllables? It would be the asset allocation and security selection. And so these two factors become controllables vis-a-vis, say, timing and costs. And also, uh, it would be good to focus on these two areas and build up your wealth journey. Like I said, we are lucky to be in a country like India, where you are like seeing a phenomenal GDP growth. So overall, I think state of the whether you look at the corporate well-being or corporate results, or if you look at the overall direction in the economy, demographics, everything seems to be very, very supportive for the long-term growth story of India, which gets reflected in returns in market-linked products. So I think with a lot of confidence, I can say that long-term investors can create great long-term wealth in India by focusing on asset allocation and good security selection. And at Bank of India, we've kind of built up a great track record over the last few years, and I think certainly a lot of these large category products deserve attention. Uh, and I would request our investors and distributors to look these up and reach out to us for more information. Of course, we will be reaching out to our distributors, but please look us up and reach out to us in terms of any information, details that you require on our products, processes, performance, and any other matter related to service. Right. So that's from my side, Suren. Anything else that I can?
No, thank you very much. In fact, I totally agree with you. And it's very important to note that market reacts on information and readjusts on the happening, correct? And the multiple cycles of this reaction on information and readjustment of performance over a long periods of time actually helps creating wealth for the
Yeah.
investor. So I totally agree with you that asset allocation is the right answer for creating wealth over the long term through the mutual funds as a vehicle. Well, Mohit, I think it was wonderful hearing from you the plans of Bank of India Mutual Fund, the changes which you plan to bring in on the digital side. How would you like to, also work very closely with Bank of India as a distribution channel? Your specific focus on the distribution channel, the third-party distribution channel, and the wonderful initiatives which you plan to take ahead to grow Bank of India Mutual Fund. So our very best wishes from Advisorkhoj to you as well as Bank of India Mutual Fund for the way ahead. Thank you very much for taking out time today, Mohit, and joining us today in conversation by Advisorkhoj.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Suren. Thanks to Advisorkhoj, and similarly wish you all the very best.
Thank you
very
very
much.
much. Thank you very much.